Welcome back to your Daily Dose. My name is Robert, and I'm here with Karen. We're talking about the final A's game, September 26, 2024, at the Oakland Coliseum. We were both there. And Karen, we started by the initial feeling going over the bridge, went into your backstory about why it was so important to you growing up, all the flashbacks, your parents, their history. Take us back to the day of the game now. As you're seeing the game go, you mentioned how fast it went by. What did you see? What did you notice? What did you feel as the game was unfolding as it did?
Slow down. Can we just slow down? The clock was something new for me, and I understand the logic of it, but yeah, that it took a lot of the feel out of it. Knowing that it was, you could just see it ticking down, ticking down, ticking down.
So that is new to the game, the fact that there's a pitch clock, because it used to be a game that was timeless on purpose, right? And
Yeah.
it's there to speed the game up, which has a practical thing. However, your experience with it kept you from, well, it sounds like it robbed something from you, if I'm hearing you
It
right.
did. It did. Well, you're going to look at things differently when you're older versus when you were a teenager in your early 20s. And yeah, the last time I was there, I was in my early 20s. But it did. It seemed like those games went on forever. And that's why us 80s kids were able to run around between innings and not miss a lot.
So here you go again with the theme I want to point out. You mentioned being at the ball game with your dad, having those parameters, being able to run around. You did the same at the Coliseum. You were
Yes.
able to run around because, again, your parents said, "Hey, you're in the Coliseum. Go ahead." What was it like running around the Coliseum in that space? What did that mean to you as a kid?
Oh, it was just a different kind of freedom for me because my parents were kind of the shelter type, until I was 18. If I wasn't going in a car, I wasn't leaving the house after dark. I was one of those, and that was when, those night games, I felt like I was really getting away with something running around.
And maybe you were a little bit. There's something that I know parents struggle with. I certainly do as a parent of teenagers. And yet I know what it meant to me was to have a little bit of that freedom, to get into good trouble, if you want to call it that. Those growing up moments that are a little bit on the edge and yet are also places where we kind of find out who we are as people, I think. Is that, I mean, I grew up,
Exactly.
yeah, I grew up at the Coliseum like that a little bit. It sounds like you did too.
Yeah, definitely. Because you see what will Junior do? And I never got in any trouble, but just being able to be
Yeah.
and not have my parents, wondering, okay, where is she?
Yeah. So I'll reflect that. I know me and my best friend, his name is Jonathan Okins, Johnny O, as we nicknamed him. We went to ball games out from Walnut Creek here on the BART well before we could drive. And again, it wasn't a thing to our parents. Sure, we'd ride our bike to the Pleasant Hill BART, drop it off, go to the ball game, and we'd be there all afternoon and get your bleacher ticket for $3 and nachos for another $3 max. And just have a hell of a day. And you're right, freedom is really the right word. There's something to that. And you're right too that they didn't have the monstrosity that they called Mount Davis, what the Raiders built when they came back from Los Angeles. You used to be able to see the hills of San Lorenzo over the center field wall where the ivy was, where Reggie Jackson parked one way back in the day, where Jose Canseco, as a rookie, before his pre-rookie year, as a matter of fact, hit one that was, oh my god. That was taken away because it used to be to go, you get your
I forgot about that. But yeah, you can see those hills that are right over there. Yeah.
That's right, where you're at, right? Because you've returned home.
Yeah, I'm right. You can hear well, when the fireworks were going, you could hear it from the balcony out here. That's how close I am.
So the final pitch with the A's, Mason Miller throws 104-mile-an-hour fastball and just smokes him. And all of a sudden, on comes Cool again. What are you feeling?
I can't believe it's over. And I still can't believe it's over.
The song is celebration, and yet we're celebrating a death.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Yeah. And I still can't believe it. And it's been a few days, and I wasn't prepared for that emotion. I was, but I wasn't, and yeah.
I don't think anybody truly know, right? Until
No.
the day of, and then being
I'm
around.
trying to explain too. I'm trying to explain it to my sister, and she doesn't really get it. You had to be there to get it, I think.
I think so too. I think there was something in the air to have that much collective grief mixed with, there was joy too. There was celebration, literally, in the moment of a singular great game, which it was. It was a really well played game. And everything was there. Dave Stewart and Ricky Henderson were there. Mark Kotze is managing the A's.
Yeah, and I couldn't hear. I didn't realize that's who it was until I went afterwards, and that was another pisser. I couldn't hear a lot of that.
Thankfully, a lot of it is available for
it is. I'm glad. I knew I was watching somebody. I knew enough to know that they had to have somebody up there, and I was paying attention. I just didn't know at the time who I was watching.
And it was a great speech. And he led us all in one final "Let's go Oakland."
Yeah.
Which at least for now, it closed the door. And next year they say it's not going to have Oakland. They're just going to be the Athletics. As someone I talked to earlier said, they're going to be the homeless Athletics. They'll play in Sacramento in a AAA ballpark.
Yeah, that's going to be weird.
I don't think Major League Baseball understands what they've allowed to happen.
They don't. And who knows? Maybe we can make them listen.
And that's what I wanted to hear from you. We're going to talk more about that offline first. I'll say that's a tease. But I want to thank you for being at the game and for sharing these recollections, because it's part of your journey as now a woman with Parkinson's writing her story that relates somehow to all of this baseball, some of which you weren't even aware of how much baseball was part of your life.
Oh, yeah, I did.
What I mean is I don't think you knew it, the things you're refinding, the way you're framing it in your story. I don't mean that you forgot it was there. I mean, you're reinvigorating the life that you had. Is that fair?
Perfect.
And of course, I'm just dialing this back into all of our people with Parkinson's going, what does this mean? Of course, the Boys of Summer story, the fourth Boys of Summer film, will incorporate this, because for me and my dad, who was with us there too, our final game together after all these years as well. So I look forward to sharing more of this with you, with everybody. Thank you for being there, and we'll see you on the next dose.
Thank you.